I don't do the random bull opening, then nobody's going to have anything because we're in the middle of, oh yeah, maybe we should talk about Lazy Days. No.
I was gonna say, it feels weird recording it this hour.
If that's what y'all feel like about my topic,
because it's bright outside right now. Like, it's normally like after dark when we record these.
No. The weather outside is me.
The weather outside is brunch.
That is true.
Take it away,
Thank you
Aiden.
for the weather. And I feel like I just want to rebel and say no, cross my arms. But
Back to you, Aiden.
Stop that.
Take it away, Aiden.
Can I don't know. My podcast time. I'm the host. I'm gonna raise my hand just because I want to, and I'm gonna say happy brunch to Houston, Texas.
Happy brunch, Houston.
Happy brunch.
Happy Brush, Houston.
Yes. Welcome to the.
I am trying to pick food out of my braces. Leave me alone.
Oh.
And happy brunch to all who listen to the Brunch of Idiots podcast. For those of you that wonder, what is this? Who are these weird people? I recommend to go back to the start of the playlist, watch all of them, and then come back here. Not because anything is chronological, just because I want your support. Thank you. My name is Aiden. I'm the knight. I have a cool sword, but you get a thumbs up just from me. And today, I'm here with the other hosts. That would be RJ, the lovable ghost. Riley, the lovable Bigfoot.
I want to break free.
And Jay, the lovable Axolot.
I'm waving, but you can't see it.
But we can feel it in our hearts. And today, we're going to bring up stories about our sheer laziness. And maybe not necessarily like times where we're utterly useless, but other times where it's do this one thing or the other. Meh, this is easier. I'm gonna do this. And I will kick us off with a thrilling tale that kind of starts into my life of starting to learn how to cook. Very long time ago, though. I'm still learning how to cook. There you go. That's how lazy I am about it. Back when I was 12, 13, somewhere in there. By the way, Riley is my sister. I go to Riley, and I go, "Hey, Riley, can you make me some mac and cheese?" And this already should show you the depths of my laziness. Because mac and cheese is very simple. The instructions are on the box.
He is 15 and fully capable of making mac and cheese himself.
Oh, see, I started as 12 to 13, but 15 makes so much more sense. So, I go to Riley, 15 years old, in my 12-year-old clothes, and I go, "Hey, Riley, can you make me a mac and cheese?" And Riley says, "What are you doing in those rags? Get in your actual clothes and no, make your own." She puts it a lot nicer than that. And
so, yeah.
would you like to pick it up from there, Riley?
So, what actually happened, Mom and Dad are off doing something. It's lunchtime. Aiden and I were homeschooled, right? I'm making myself a sandwich. I'm in the middle of making myself a sandwich. And Aiden's like, I don't want a sandwich. And I'm like, that's cool. There's cans of soup. You could have one of those. So Aiden goes to the pantry, right? And he looks in the pantry and he's like, hey, there's this box of mac and cheese. And I'm like, there sure is,
Vodka
buddy.
mac and cheese.
There sure is.
Because I'm still in the middle of making my sandwich. See, I had a very particular sandwich that during this time I was obsessed with. It was my one food that I was like, yes, I will eat this all day, every day. Anyway, I was not interested in the mac and cheese in the slightest. I'm not a big fan. Aiden looks up at me and he's like, Riley, will you make me this mac and cheese? And I look at him. I'm 16. He's 15. And I'm like, no, I will not make you this mac and cheese. And he goes, why not? I can't make it myself.
Yep.
And I go, my dude, there's instructions on the box.
And you would think at that point that I would be like, I'd relent, just like, oh, okay, I'll go. Guess what I do? I go put it up, and I make me a PB&J, because I ain't about to do.
At least you're committed.
Very.
And part of the reason he made himself a PB&J is because I already had the bread out.
Yep.
That's funny.
It's
beautiful.
It's even funnier when
Now-
you consider the context provided in the All About Aiden episode, which you can find in the playlist. If you haven't listened to all the other episodes, you should go and listen to that one. It's very interesting. It's all about Aiden.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for the plug. Also, you would think that that'd be the end of it, but no. I think, like, when I was 17, 2 years later, this whole thing happens again.
Yep. Almost the exact
Except
same
the difference is
conversation,
our
except
mom's
I'm...
there.
Yes. I'm visiting home from college. Or no, I was going to community college. I'm home, and he's still in the middle of his senior year. And he looks over at me, and he's like, Riley, will you make me mac and cheese? And I go, dude, what are you doing? You're about to be an adult. I think you can make your own mac and cheese. Because sometimes, between the two, I would make mac and cheese when I felt like having mac and cheese too, you know?
Right.
But, what, yeah. And then our mom looks over and she's like, I'm sorry, did you, a perfectly capable, almost adult, just ask your sister to make you some mac and cheese? Are you kidding me, child? And then Aiden, poor Aiden, was so ashamed.
I went and made mac and cheese.
He did. He
Because,
taught himself how to make mac and
It
cheese.
wouldn't... Well, here's the thing. It wasn't a thing that I'm like, okay, nope, I overstepped. I'm gonna go make a sandwich. Because I did try that. And our mom went, oh no, son.
Oh,
You've
no.
stepped into the kitchen now. You're making the mac and cheese.
You're making mac and cheese. Oh, yeah.
If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
You hear the dun 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 dun. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
As the box of mac and cheese opens.
Are you ready?
No, I'm not ready.
Mom was so
but-
mad.
I think that was one of the instances of the height of my laziness. So, does
Yep.
anyone else have any laziness they'd like to share?
I got a coworker in trouble once. To the point where he was denied getting a certification because of me.
Dang.
I am
He no
so
longer
sorry,
works
what?
there. So it's, yeah. So here, let me tell you the story. I work at an airport. And loading airplanes full of, cargo and stuff, you got to be fairly specific with the weights. That way
All right.
the plane
I'm on.
isn't too heavy in one part and causes the whole thing to stall and crash. So one of the things that we
I was just
do.
thinking that the plane would start making left turns.
Oh
I didn't think
no!
about stalling out and crashing.
Well,
Oh goodness.
it depends on how bad your problem is. Like there's stories and you could look them. That's not a lazy story. That's an ignorant story, and it's not mine, thankfully. Thank God. My lazy story is
I'm so sorry. Go ahead. I was
Aiden, do you
looking
have
for
a lazy
something
story?
else. No, you go ahead. I'm so sorry.
The air cans that go on the planes, when you have an empty can, there's supposed to be nothing in it. No water, no trash. Absolutely. It is when you say empty, you mean empty. And so when we're
Okay.
doing cleanup at the end of the day, we'll line up all the empty cans so they're in nice, neat rows to grab later and out of the way of other planes. The head trainer had come down and was checking the cans to make sure they were all empty, and had told one of my coworkers to take a massive piece of cardboard and go throw it away. Well, my coworker didn't have a tug and was not able to carry it to a recycle bin to get rid of it because it was just unwieldy and not practical to do that way. So I happen to drive by when this is happening, and he asks me if I can do it because I have a tug. And I'm like, sure, I'll do it. Whatever. Mind you, it's already in overtime at this point, 30 minutes past the end of the day. I'm ready to go home. I'm like, yeah, I'll come back and get it in a second. Let me put these cans up. So I drive back later. There's no one there. The guy that asked me to do this, or the head trainer lady. And I'm like, you know what? It's the end of the day. I'm just going to go home. I'll let Twilight deal with it. I come back in the next day. My coworker, we'll also call him Jay. Because it's not going to get confusing at all. Jay tells me that the head trainer, we'll call her Susie. Susie has come back, apparently went back and checked the can later to see if the cardboard was still in there. For some reason. She walked the whole way back out to the opposite side of the ramp from her office to make sure that there was no trash in that can. She wrote the can number down and everything.
Her supervisor senses were tingling.
Comes back out and is like, oh, it's still in here. Jay didn't do this. The other Jay, not me, Jay. But also me, Jay, because,
These names.
We'll call, we'll call him Timmy. Timmy didn't do this.
Don't change it now.
Too late. So Timmy's like, yeah, she came up to me and she's like, since I can't trust you to take trash out, I also can't trust you with the certification that you were trying to get. So I will not let you get certified to do that now. And it's just like, what? That's so far removed in every way from logic to me.
She was just looking for a reason.
She also no longer works there either. And we found out she wasn't doing her job correctly.
That is irony at its finest.
It really is. Wow.
But
All right.
I actually kind of feel bad for, what did we dub this person? Timmy now?
Yeah. Timmy.
Long
Rest in peace,
scream
Timmy.
their name.
Timmy, if you're listening to this, you know who you are.
Timmy!
Sorry.
Yeah, that's my bad. Yep. Also,
Well,
Wait,
also,
does
you
Timmy
had
know
a boss
this?
that obviously had it out for you.
Timmy
So-
Timmy is well aware that of what happened. We've talked about this numerous times after the fact.
Okay.
What Timmy doesn't know is that Susie, I think that's what we decided to call the trainer lady.
Uh-huh.
so not long after he left, she also left, and we found out that everyone that was supposedly head marshal certified, like the people that use the wands to bring in the plane, like if you're on a passenger plane, you'll see them out your windows. The people out your windows are wing walkers, and the person at the front of the plane is the head marshaller. Everybody that we thought had officially gotten head marshal certified was only wing walker certified. She did not head marshal certify anyone.
And that's a big certification too, right? Like that takes
dangerous.
So it's not so I know how to do it. I have been taught how to do it. However, in like the computer system, I am not head marshal certified. So there's a bunch of people that had to go back and redo that training course online to make sure that everybody that's supposed to have it actually had it.
Rest in peace, Timmy. And everyone
R.I.P.
else.
You know
Timmy.
who you are.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we know who you
The
are.
other Jay.
But the other listeners don't know who you are, but we know. And we see you.
We know.
where you sleep.
We see you.
I
Attic Man will.
I'm not
come for you
associated with individual actions of the brunch members.
Timmy,
yes,
we
you are,
miss you.
bud.
I thought we were.
miss you at
I
work.
thought we
Come
were
back.
past these PSAs. Come on.
Never. You're one of us, Hayden. All right. I got mine.
Only
assuming
when
Jay is
it's
done.
not illegal.
Right
Not
there.
illegal. Yeah.
Okay. So mine is relatively simple in nature. Delivery services, namely for food, right? Very convenient for people who are needing convenient delivery, and the bane of a lazy person's existence. So this is back when I was a bachelor, living in a essentially a Christian frat house. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Anyway, so I was much younger and had disposable income, right? And so I don't remember what the situation was leading up to this. I was awake very late. I had woken up like way early, and I was thirsty, and I didn't have any bottled water. There was no water filter in the house that I lived in, even on like the fridge. So like the only option was tap, and I was like, I ain't drinking tap out of this. There's a lot of circumstances that lead up to that decision, but I decided the best course of action was to, of course, have water delivered to me at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And unsurprisingly, the order went through, and then no one decided to deliver my water. So I sat there waiting for like an hour. Maybe it was an hour and a half. I don't know. It was about like 5 or 5:30 when this water finally was like assigned to a driver. I was like, oh my God. Quenching is on its way. And in that amount of time, I could have very easily just driven down to a restaurant or a store, because there was like a 24 hour, because I lived like right off of a big university, like college campus, and there was like a 24-hour McDonald's and like a bunch of other like fast food places. I could have gone to any one of these locations or the numerous gas stations, like back and forth multiple times in the amount of time it took for me to sit there and wait for this water to be delivered. And yeah, so I've never used delivery for trivial things again. I mean, I do like for food, but like I don't get ordinary stuff delivered, and especially not at 4 o'clock in the morning, because that's stupid. And of course it wouldn't be delivered because nobody's awake. Duh.
I'm
My quenching is here.
It doesn't matter if
Quenching
you
is
need
upon
an
us.
extra quenching.
The quenching is upon us.
the quenching.
The quench approacheth.
It's
the
the quenching.
Quenchiest.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Quenchy.
Fabulous.
That all of a sudden that sounds very French to me, and I'm uncomfortable now.
Oh, quenchy.
Okay, I got one.
All right.
This is at work. by the way.
right.
Normally, I am very much not a lazy person. I want to make that known. Not that the PSA is unnecessary. I understand, but I need everybody to know that this is typically
The
out
PSA
of
makes
character
it
for me.
more unbelievable. Sorry.
I know. Anyway,
Look, I'm not a lazy person.
But
in this
Sorry.
instance, I am. I continue to be, even to this day. Here's the thing. The vast majority of my job is leaving voicemails. I leave sometimes hundreds of voicemails a day. Okay? And that's exhausting. We had this guy at our office. I'm gonna call him Toby.
Toby?
And Toby
Oh, okay.
was probably one of the laziest people I've ever met in my entire life. He did not end up surviving the end culling that was going to happen. But I did learn something from him in that our voice over IP system has something called voicemail drop. And I don't think it's legal in every state to do this, but it was available to me, is available to me, so I make use of it. And what it is when you get sent to, or when you make a call to somebody, you have the ability to, instead of wait for the voicemail box and record the voicemail, you can just drop a pre-recorded message into a person's voicemail box, which is phenomenal. And I learned this from Nicholas. Oops, I said his real name. I'm gonna have to cut
You
that out.
didn't have to verify that was in fact his name. You could have just rolled with it. Toby.
Anyway,
Sorry, Nathan. Full address this, last name this, social security this. Sorry.
Oopsie.
We're just gonna call you Docs. How's that?
oh my god, D-Docs.
So
Okay.
Nathan, we'll call him Docs, by the way. But Nathan was
Toby.
Anyway, Toby
Toby Docs.
Toby.
told me about this. And I thought it was the smartest thing ever, and I still do. 'Cause some days I don't want to leave 200 voicemails. I just want to do my work and go home. So I spent an hour and a half pre-recording, like, I don't know how many pre-made voice messages that kind of go over the course, like the lifespan of a quote-unquote fresh lead. And on days where I don't feel like leaving voicemails, even like I randomly just don't want to leave a normal voicemail for somebody, I will voicemail drop. Still technically does my job, but man, my metrics look bad when I do it because I'm not getting any talk time. And then I tell other people about this, and they're like, wow, that sounds great, but nobody else does it. I'm the only person who does it.
I'm the only one. And Toby, you helped me be this. You made me, Toby.
You made me who
Look,
I am.
I'm
You did this
thankful
to me.
because that one stint of time where my voice was just shot.
Yes.
Yes.
I was still able to work because I just voicemail dropped the whole time. So it was great. I didn't talk for like 4 days.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
Fabulous. I have another height of my laziness one, but I'm gonna just breeze over this and not go into the same detail because I already talked about it. Or maybe one of y'all did. I can't remember. Public speaking days. Those were fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I did public speaking for, 3 years? And then I did...
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. And then I finally got into acting on play. That's one of my last semesters. And by the you can tell that it stuck with me. Anyhow.
Haha. Verbal fillers! Verbal fillers!
So, I was not a great student. I've always kind of been a terrible student because I was lazy. It's not what I wanted to do. So, a lot of times I would just wait till the last second and then do it. And whatever I got was what I got, and I moved on. Now, the funny thing is, I'm related to some very great, quick-witted improv type people, and I carry that trait. So, there are a lot of times I come in looking sharp, because that's how my mom wanted me to look, nailing something that I spent the course of an hour the night before practicing.
5 minutes.
However, that did not compare to the time that I nearly got skinned alive by my mom and sister, both for doing a tall tale perfectly. Because I was so lazy, and you know the whole I didn't know that it was happening until that day. I remembered that I had to do the tall tale the night before it had to happen when I went to bed. And I read the tall tale 3-4 times, went to sleep, woke up early, read it 3 or 4 more times. Then the rest of the story transpired. Like I said, I think we talked about it before. That one's another podcast thing. But that one's a little more from my perspective than just the in general. That's how much prep I had for this. And
you still got a frickin' A. I'm still mad about that. There's zero reason for me to be mad about this. This was like 17 ever ago.
Beautiful.
I was told to do it.
Page.
Oh?
Huh? What? Huh?
I want to know.
Story.
What are you?
Webpage?
Story of what, RJ?
Did I tell the story about my webpage design class in college?
No, I don't think so. Did you tell it to me?
I don't think you did on the on the podcast yet.
Dawson, you know what to do. Check the archives. Anyway, so I had a class in college. It was
Also
dumb.
Toes.
That's so mean.
Sorry.
We just asked
Sorry.
him to do something.
That's wild.
He loves us. He'll come back. Anyway, so I had this class in college, and it was like web page management / creation / design. I don't know what it was. Anyway, the guy who taught it was very old, couldn't hear. I always made it a habit to sit in the back of the class anyway, but it was problematic because you couldn't have any questions answered if you sat in the back because he couldn't hear you. So if he wasn't facing you and saw you frantically waving your hand, and even if he did, he couldn't hear you, so we'd have to relay questions up the rows to him. But anyway, class was stupid, right? And all of our class times were not spent learning. It was spent doing. So we were supposed to spend the entire semester creating this web page, and I didn't do it until I think the night before. So I would go to class, wait for the sign-in sheet, sign the attendance roster, and then I would leave. And I did that every class day for the entire semester except for like the first 2. And then at the end of the semester, I just turned in like, a half-baked web page that it covered all the requirements, but it definitely was not taken seriously, and half of it was just memes anyway. Like there was a button. I had a link, and it was like a button with like all these flashy, like press here, arrows and whatnot, as sketchy as possible. And the link would take you to a article about the dangers of browsing online and malicious links. And yeah, I had like Elon Musk and Harambe and anyway, yeah. So I didn't take it seriously at all, and I got like a 98 on my final, which by the way was like the entire class. And I'm thoroughly convinced that he didn't even look at my webpage, and if he did, he had to have just like opened it and been like, "Yep, that's up. Okay, cool." A.
So the laziness of a teacher.
Was this at our shared community college?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be devil's advocate for the teacher here. Yeah, he might not have read it. Or this secret second thing is he saw it, saw that you put like working links and memes and it and like actually had things that did things and was like, wow, this is the most effort I've seen in a student all semester. Good job.
See,
the most effort.
Here's the thing. I highly doubt that, because there were these nerds, and I don't use that term unironically often, but they were nerds. And I'm talking about like the brown-nosing nerds. The ones that
no! Stupid
Yeah.
pocket protector dweebs.
We're in community college. It's not that serious. But these guys would go all out on these classes that do nothing for you, by the way. And so they'd be there in the front of the class every single time. They're there early. They've got their little pencils and their notepads, and they're ready to take notes, And, like, don't get me wrong. If you're paying to be in school, you should take it seriously. But, like, also,
That's
it
too
does
serious.
not matter. That class taught nothing. Nothing.
Well, also, at some point, if you're making a web page, there's so many sites now that, like, Wix and stuff like that. I mean, Squarespace,
Yeah.
all these places.
Yep.
Like, you don't need to know
Yep.
how to make your own website from scratch.
The
I don't
only
know
good
if you ever.
thing-
I
did.
manage a Squarespace website for a former
See?
employer.
There are lots of different options. Like, there's no need to be. I think we actually used one. I can't remember what it was, but we used some platform, and I had to like buy my own domain name and stuff. I can't remember what it was. It's expired by now, but like I
Dang.
had my own website at one point. I should have done something cool with that, but yeah.
A Brunch
Anyway.
of Idiots website?
Oh.
What are we
We
gonna
have-
put on a website?
I'm just gonna reiterate this
Our
again.
faces.
We have the same following base, the same audience that we had when we first launched the podcast. We have not grown. And I will point out, we lost a subscriber at one point.
That is true.
Oh, did
Our
we?
audience actually
We need
shrunk.
to strike while the iron is hot, guys.
We need
Come
to strike while the iron is cold and the fire is out.
If you hit the iron while it's cold enough times, you can make it hot again.
We're going to slap this chicken till it cooks. Y'all want to
Yep.
help us slap this chicken? We're going to slap the chicken together, okay? Everyone slap
Everyone
the chicken
wants-
with me.
slap
Hit the subscribe
chicken.
button.
I'm
Like
sorry,
the
it
video.
doesn't taste
Share
as
with
good
your friends.
reheated.
Slap that chicken.
This is good reheated.
This is the laziest official plug. This is so fitting for this episode.
I don't know if this would even be called a plug.
We're gonna
This is
host
like
a
a
subathon.
mid-episode rant. If you're here and you've been following us since the beginning, thank you.
We
I know I
appreciate
complained.
you.
If
Jay
this
with
is your
the
first
Asbury
time
message.
here, I got
If you're
nothing.
new here, I'm so
Sorry.
Please don't leave me. I'm all alone.
So
I'm
we're actually
sad.
we're gonna host a subathon, and for every sub, I'm gonna write your name on the wall, and I
Yeah.
don't know, a beach ball, and I'll bounce on it with
Any
a bikini top.
any
I
donations
don't
will
know.
go
What are they
towards
doing on Twitch these days?
RJ's.
I don't know.
Dude, I wouldn't even know.
Fee
The fact that I have
for his
I have that app on my phone for one person.
Is it?
And it's a
I'm
friend.
trying to
And it's
remember
because
if
I'm
there
her
was a
mod.
time where I
or I'm
was-
one of her mods.
Lazy enough to leave an event just because they didn't have something I wanted. I think
Is
that
that
there was
lazy
a
or is
time.
that just being judicious with your time?
Well, I just being lazy is being judicious with your time. The only thing is that you're focused on something slightly different. Truthfully, laziness is just drivenness for things that aren't considered productive.
I'm making the. How could you say something so bold? And so
Because I am a
controversial.
lazy person,
And
and
can you
I
repeat that for 1 second? Because I
rock
think
at my job.
I think I have a lazy story that is something that could prove that sentiment wrong. Could you repeat that for me real quick? Just let me read
Well,
Marinate in it.
okay, let me stack up the pins again, and then you can come knock them down.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'll only hold it against you forever.
Uncle Mark?
Anyhow. I can't respond how I wanted to. Anyhow, I was saying that truthfully, laziness is just a sheer drive to do something that you want to do that's not considered productive.
You know what? No, I can agree with that. Here, so let me tell you the story that I thought might, because this is a weird one. It's also very short.
All right.
All around.
There was one night I was in call, and I was sitting there for a while, and after a while, my back started to hurt, and I thought it was due to the way I was sitting. And I changed position, and nothing would help. Mind you, I had needed to go to the bathroom at this point for like 30 minutes to an hour.
Do I want to hear the end of the story?
So
I remember you telling me about this the next day.
because like it was getting to the point where I had like a headache and my back hurt. It was not good. I was uncomfortable. So like at some point, I excused myself to go to the bathroom because I have FOMO. I didn't want to leave call, so I had muted and gone to the bathroom. Not long after I had gone to the bathroom and relieved myself, my pain in all of the areas started slowly going away, and I realized that I really needed to take care of something. And not stay in call because of FOMO.
Yeah.
But the way Aiden phrased that, I think that does still count as laziness, doing something that I want to do that is not considered productive, which is stay in call.
I can honestly say I thought that story was going to take different branches at every single opportunity, and none of them were what I thought it would be. Like, at first I was like,
Sheer
you did
just
not
pitch
get
of
like a bottle
emotions.
or a cup.
No,
And then you were like, yeah, I muted. And I was like, oh my God, the mute didn't work and everyone heard. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's just one of those things that from my side, I was like uncomfortable for like another 30 minutes to an hour after I had already needed to go to the bathroom for 30 minutes to an hour.
See, I've had situations like that
Yeah.
at work, but not out of laziness, but just because I've been so busy. I'm like, I have to get this done. And so I'm like, standing there, I'm like, hold! Man the gates!
See, that's fair, right? You are actively doing something productive. I was sitting in call watching other people stream. I think like The Sims or something.
And
Like,
you
I
were
don't
very
Yeah,
driven.
That was The Sims.
The
Like-
Sims is like the least like FOMO fueling game. You're not gonna miss anything. You come back, you're like, no, that wall is decorated. I waited for 5 minutes for that wall to be decorated.
It's less about what's going on in game and more about waiting for the crazy BS that I'm going to say next.
There's that and like
Oh.
inside jokes. I don't want to miss inside jokes because I took 30 seconds to go to the bathroom one wall over. This has been a consistent problem. That's just the worst instance of it.
I'm really curious about what Riley was going to say next.
Was I gonna say something?
I really
I
did.
think I get the joke.
End the
Yeah.
podcast.
No, I don't understand. Wait, was I going to say something?
Yeah, you were like, what you wouldn't believe what I'm about to say next.
No.
No,
That's part of
no.
the reason why Jay didn't want to leave.
Yeah,
Oh.
the phrase
because
yes that Riley
when
was
it
going
was-
to say that.
Oh,
in The
okay.
Sims.
I thought
When-
that Riley was talking outside of the story. I'm like, oh man, I'm ready for this.
No.
No.
What do you have to
No.
say for yourself?
Up next, Crazy Riley story.
Join us next time on the Brunch of Idiots podcast, where we maybe will possibly find out what Riley was going to say all that time ago.
If you can figure it out, will you tell me?
No. You'll have to tune in next time.
Okay.
So here's actually a place where laziness, quote unquote, can be productive, and that just so happens to be in the realm of programming. For example, laziness can be efficient, and there was a place that I used to work at that had a programmer there. We were both kind of new, and this guy, he would put on like these ridiculous tool paths for these tools that you need to cut the metal. It would be just hundreds of thousands of lines of code to cut a square 2 by 2, 3 inches down. And then I come up behind that program when it doesn't fit into the machine because it doesn't have the memory capacity to handle hundreds of thousands of lines of code. And I go, well, dang, this needs a contour. And I put in what's called a contour. And it says, tool, move to this corner. Now move to this corner. And I think I reduced that line of code from the hundreds of thousands to 20 lines.
I was gonna say I can't imagine something like that needing more than. Well, I was gonna really undershoot it, but like my original thought is 3 lines of code, literally 3 inches down, left, up. Like I mean, yeah, you gotta sure another line of code for the start point. Sure, whatever. I don't code things, but you get my point.
And the really frustrating thing about my job, have you all seen the videos where it's like someone just chucks a piece of metal into a machine, a few buttons, boop, 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 spindle comes out, and then they open the door and a part comes out?
Uh-huh.
The reason why that's the envisionment of what CNC like programming is because it's eerily accurate.
I think it sounds
There's
like
a
the
lot
sort of thing
more
that would be
thought. Yeah.
like once you have the code, that sounds like it would be accurate. Like once you have the code to
Yeah.
do the thing, you can just mass produce it by going, "Oh, hey, machine, run this code for this piece." And
Pretty
put
much.
the piece in. Yeah.
And that is why the CNC world is so vast and sometimes unforgiving.
The
We're gonna go on a side-
CNC world, fast and unforgiving.
I'm gonna go on a brief side tangent because I watched a video which really interested me on they were doing friction welds and
Those
different
are so
types
scary.
where you spin both sides up and like press them together.
That's literally, by our machining definitions, a controlled crash.
Yeah. There's a company. I'm blanking on the name on it, but I watched a guy. He did a video on it. That all they do is friction welds. So not only do they have the spinning kind, they also have kind where they oscillate back and forth to do shapes that aren't round. At like 50 times per second with like
Yeah.
tons of force. and they have another kind that I also, it's called what is it called? So some sort of like plastic welding thing where it's not even plastic they do it, but they like heat up the metal so much that it becomes plastic, and then they like combine the two pieces together by twisting the metal in its plastic form.
I will say it's scary how lazy the industrial field is, because that's where a lot of guys go. They're like, I don't want to work.
I'm just gonna run lines of code all day. Let me shove my thumb in here and lose it.
Pretty much.
Please don't lose your thumbs in a machine. You could get sucked in the machine or degloved. Either way is bad.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yes.
So, any other lazy stories? Come on. Don't be too lazy to say them.
I'm trying to remember. I had one earlier, but I forgot it. Oh, okay. Once upon a time, this is a very, very young Riley and Aiden story. When we lived in Kansas, which is 5 ever ago. We were not very wealthy. So we would do a lot of the hard labor regarding house betterment projects, home improvement projects, that's what they're called, ourselves.
Betterment projects.
And they were often projects that maybe we should have had more adults doing, but really, because we didn't have a lot of friends and we lived in the middle of nowhere, it was my mom and her 2 children who were around, 6 and 7 years old, respectively. Right? And this particular project that I'm thinking of, we were removing these massive stones that were lining a driveway down into the bottom of our property And these stones, this driveway was basically just a steep hill, like incredibly steep hill. Think roller coaster drop kind of steep almost.
Yeah, it was kind of a
like it was just
70,
barely
80
a hill.
degree.
It was bad. So these rocks were like 300-400 pounds per rock. And my mom decided that her 32-year-old self, 35 maybe, and her 2 barely above toddler children were going to be the ones to, move these hundreds of pounds stones. The first one we do is the biggest one. And it had to be 400 pounds. There's no way it was any less than that. It was the size, like if you squished Aiden and I together, you could fit one more 7-year-old child on the rock and it would be about the same size as a rock, right? It was big rock. And we were at the top of the hill trying to lift this thing onto the back of a trailer from the side of the trailer. Poor Aiden got his finger squished.
I did.
The first time we did it. And my mom got frustrated, not at us, but because she couldn't do it. And she's one of those people who's very much like if I can't do something, what is the worth of my life kind of person.
What good am I?
Oh.
And I, in my 7-year-old wisdom, am like, I really do not want to do this right now. And I'm pretty sure Mama's going to have us do this the hard way the entire time. And I, believe it or not, did not want to be doing this. I did not want to be lifting rocks. I wanted to go inside and play with Barbies. So I looked down at the very end of this hill where the bottom of our trailer is. And I realize that because of the curvature of the hill, the bottom of the trailer is almost parallel with the ground. So I look at it and I'm like, Mother, we must slide the rock.
Mother.
And my mom looks at me and she's like, what are you talking about, you toe-headed child? And I point down at the bottom and I go, we could probably lift it down there. And sure enough, we slid the rock down. All we had to do is set it down on the pavement and kind of give it a little shove, and it slid all the way down to the bottom of the hill. And we literally just slid it onto the trailer from there. And my mom thought I was a genius. Like, she told that story for years about how I figured out that the bottom of the trailer was closer to the ground than the side of the trailer up at the top. All I wanted to do is get it done so that we could go inside and play Barbies and watch Mythbusters.
That is the life right there. I don't blame you at all.
Screw this rock. We're gonna do this the easy way.
And
We
it
will
was a
not
credit to me.
overcomplicate the rock.
It was a credit to me.
It was
As
very literally,
intelligence.
Patrick. Let's take this thing and push it somewhere else.
It was. Oh, I was praised for being so smart, and I'm over here like, I just don't want to do this anymore.
I think I wasn't allowed inside, so I was just sitting there with a squished finger, sad.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom and I had to do the rest
Riley,
of
you
that.
were my hero that day.
I was everybody's hero that day. I just wanted to go play Barbie.
You were.
Riley's
You
idea
were.
really rocked.
And with that, I shall bring this to a close. I shall bring up some words. It's not a big list, but hopefully it will be a fun list. These words were brought to you by this broadcast, and this broadcast was brought to you by these words. Have fun translating that. Mac and cheese. J, the other one. Timmy! Quenching. Toby? Thanks for listening.
Just
From Umbridge.
From Umbridge.
from Umbridge. Umbral.
Don't you
Yep.
know?
It's Umbral.
Anyhow.
Oh.
Thanks
Yeah.
for listening to our lazy tales and our chatter. If y'all have any lazy tales, be sure to put them in the comments so that we can read them and share with your friends. For all of those that went back to watch from the first episode, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. For those that did not listen to my advice and have only watched this episode and will possibly move on from here and not watch our playlist, screw you.
Rather
Wow.
violent way to end.
Okay then. Happy
No, I'm
brunch,
just
Houston, I
kidding.
guess.
Thank you, and happy brunch to Houston and to all who listened to this podcast. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
No, seriously, screw you.
It's